I was always adamant that, I really want to work because I could see kind of people around. If you don't work, you lose your kind of identity, you lose your personality, and after a while, you are just dependent on others. So that was something I never, imagined for myself. I want my life where I was busy.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the whole motive. Like if I set free, I make 100 people crazy.
In today's podcast, we're going to talk about PR, also known as public relations. And if you're a person who's looking for a career in PR, this is one podcast that you will enjoy and benefit from, because we're going to talk about all the insights of being a PR in social media for Dubai. And the guest speaker for today that we have on our podcast is Sherry Gupta, who has been doing PR in F&B social media Dubai for I think around 2 to 3 years, and she's doing fabulously great and she's great at her work. So my name is Anil Lobo and you're listening to Rayna Tours podcast. I hope this one is something that gets you inspired. So happy listening. Okay, Sherry, thank you so much for coming. I'm so glad. So today, as you know, we're talking about PR specifically in social media Dubai. First, I'll tell you my understanding of PR, which I already told you, but I'll keep telling it again. So for me, PR means organizing events, going for events, and having a really fun lifestyle. Like it's fun. PR, public relations, right? Yeah. So why I say this, because in college we had PR events and all that, and in our colleges they would organize college events, college festivals, right? So that's where I understood. And when I would see the PR, I'm like seeing these guys enjoying, DJing, partying, clicking photos, and it was great life, right? That is college. That is where it's just fun. There's nothing of income, nothing. But now I need to know from you, what is the actual PR? What PR means and what happens in PR? Is it the same? What I think?
So you're not entirely wrong, though.
There is fun.
Yeah, there is fun, because it depends. If you enjoy your job, definitely there is fun. The whole idea of PR is how you keep your brand out there in your audience. So and it shouldn't look boring. So for example, I'm a lot into restaurants PR, right? So the day I go for a meeting, I ask them, like if your expectation is publication should publish, okay, this X restaurant has the best butter chicken, so like you're not getting the PR right. But you need to understand what kind of image you're trying to build for your brand, and then we come up with stories, ideas, we come up with different strategies, and then we create an event, then we create a story, then we create a pitch around it, and then we make sure that who to get in touch with. So this is a whole like a big ball game.
Yeah,
so
it's
like a whole path where we start, what exactly you want to achieve. How do you want a person to perceive you as? It shouldn't be like, okay, we serve the best butter chicken. No, like everyone would say that we are the best butter chicken. But what will get people get very excited about your brand? What is your side of story? How involved you are with the community? And it doesn't happen overnight. So you need to make sure that your communication, your messages are going out in the public on a very consistent manner, because right now we are in a social media era. So how people remember your content, the span is very less. So they really need to get reminder very frequently, because they forget you. And here in Dubai, the problem is people think if they don't see you, it means you're gone, you're shut. The business is out of business. Wow. Yeah. So we need to be consistent, and that's where the PR job comes in. We find out what are the right platforms, what are the right ways to put the brand upfront in the market.
So that's your job.
Yeah, that's my
how
job.
do you get that out? That is what PR is.
Exactly.
And then how do you have fun with it? Like for me, I still see those DJ lights. Like in my college was all that DJ lights. These guys are just enjoying life, bunking classes and going. Right?
Yeah, because then that was their part-time job, right? Of course, if we are creating an event, of course, if we want, for example, it's a lifestyle event. So for example, a fashion brand, like I did a Forever 21 event, of course, we had DJs, we had fashion show, we had photographers, but then it was the final stage. But before that, we need to shortlist, okay, what kind of influencers we want, what kind of DJing we want, what is the theme of the fashion show, how those models they are going to go about the mall. What kind of permissions do we require? So yeah, there's a lot of hard work and step by step process that goes on it. But yeah, once we are on the stage, then it's all fun, because when you see everything putting up together and it's nice, and the blocks are in their place, yeah, it's fun.
The final product is good.
Yeah.
I was going through your Instagram, and I don't need to go. Everyone knows it right now. You recently won the best PR in
Yeah.
social media Dubai
Yeah.
in the Indian Women's Award.
Yeah.
So I'm quite sure it was not like yesterday you started it and
No.
you're the only woman out there and then you won it because no competition. I'm quite sure that's not the scene. I'm quite
Yes.
sure there have been a lot of days, there have been a lot of nights. Now I want to know about how you started. How did you, like, was PR the first thing you did as a career?
Okay, so I would say the God was kind enough. So I studied advertising and PR in my college days, in my post
In
graduation
Dubai?
in Mumbai.
Achha, you're from Mumbai.
No, I'm from Punjab.
Achha, from
So,
Punjab.
yeah,
Okay.
I took that step because I come from a very hardcore business family background, and like where you are not supposed to go out and work, like very rigid.
You're
yeah,
Punjabi?
yeah, I'm a Punjabi
Okay.
banya. So, but I was always adamant that I really want to work, because I could see kind of people around. If you don't work, you lose your kind of identity, you lose your personality, and after a while you are just dependent on others. So that was something I never imagined for myself. I want my life where I was busy.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the whole motive. Like, if I set free, I make 100 people crazy. So I just wanted to be busy. So yeah, but the thing is, I was fascinated towards the media field, and I chose to pick advertising and PR as my post graduation, because in Punjab there was no media courses.
Okay.
Yeah, in 2009 I completed my graduation, and in those, even now there are no media courses. As per my knowledge. So my family said, okay, you complete your graduation, and then if you want to go out, then it's fine. So okay, they were kind enough to let me go, and I studied. And my first job was in PR.
So in Mumbai, where you did your...
I was with Perfect Relations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I did my 1 year of job there, and then I started, because at that point of time there was hardly a social media. There was one team in corner, they would be doing Facebook, and we will say, "Bichare," why they are spoiling their career path.
There was nothing that was that
because
time,
it was
right?
too new to understand, and we were like 20 years, 21 years, having no idea what they are doing. And we were in, I was handling a auto brand, and we were like the cool kids of the office. So yeah, so that was my first experience, and then I started to interact in PR.
Okay.
So that was my first job, and I started to interact with media, and then like, I'm very curious to know about things, like how they are doing. So I was like, I want to understand how a journalist works. Like, as PR we call them and say, okay, this is it, this is it, this is this, but what a person sitting the other side of the phone call, how is he working? So I was 21 then. I said, I still have a lot of time to experiment.
Yeah.
And from PR I literally switched to journalism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got my next opportunity in NDTV, and I just bodied on it. And then after NDTV I worked with Times of India for 4 years. So that was the time I actually learned what is a story, what is a sales pitch, what is a story and what is not a story.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you are doing PR, there was so much of time, like people won't read our PRs, because of course it was not of any interest to them. So then I understood, when I am writing a story, I have certain guidelines to follow. And if a PR pitch does not fall in those guidelines, it's of no use to me. Right? So when I was working with Times of India, I understood how journalism works, like what is a story and what is a sale. So that's why I said, top 10 places for butter chicken is a PR pitch, but we have the best butter chicken in the town is a sales pitch.
Oh, okay.
You just go and get like the awards and stuff. So that's a separate ball game together. So I learned a lot. So then, of course, I moved to Middle East after I got married and stuff. So I was again working with publications only. And it was so funny. I always wanted to get into PR, but somehow like nobody hired me even for PR executive.
Okay.
Yeah, but then I was working with the lifestyle magazine for good 3 years here in Dubai. Then
Which magazine was that?
Connector.
Connector. Okay.
Yeah, so I was there for good 3 years. Then pandemic happened, of course. Then many people were not in a situation to pay the salaries and stuff. But I was so heartbroken. I was like, okay, let me, I always wanted to do something of my own. So now there are no jobs in the market, like nobody in the family would say, what are you doing? So let me just give it a shot.
Oh,
I
yeah.
always wanted to do something of my own, but I was always, the stuck. That okay, because when you are in a job, you are getting that inflow of a steady income, and you are busy, and then you say, okay, if I leave this, what next? What not? You always have those doubts.
Right.
But then I was so heartbroken after what happened with my this job, and I was like, okay, I'm not going back.
You also are laid off,
Not laid off. They were not able to pay salaries.
but you were working.
Yeah, I was working without being paid, but that's okay. I think that was a tough time for
everyone.
For everyone. So I am now let it go. Of course,
That time also made a lot of new careers for many people.
Exactly. Now I'm very. I am very grateful
For that time.
That time it was very stressful, and I was not in a very good mood, I would say. I was, but that was the time when I actually took this decision that okay, I'm not going back to a job. Let me see if I can do something of my own or not. And I'm grateful that I could take this opportunity because I had the financial backing of my husband. It's not that it was a must thing to get something in. So I'm always very grateful for that support, I would say. So now as a person, I can't sit free, as I told you.
Yeah, you have to do something.
I have to do something, otherwise I just can't sit free. So then I started, okay, let me just try my hands on PR, because now my last PR job was 10 years back, and that too in a very different era.
Yeah.
But during my job with connectors, so of course we interact with PRs on a daily basis, right? Because I used to get 100 to 120 emails every day. I know what PRs do. So, I always learn and try to understand what other person is doing. That's like part of my nature.
Okay.
So I keep observing people, okay, how they are doing, what they are doing. So that I would say really helped me to, build my journey. But I didn't have a professional experience of PR in a Dubai agency. But I was like, okay, let me just give it a shot. So somehow through social media only, I found my first client.
Oh,
yeah.
What was that?
It was Food Ka Mood in Karama.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did first campaign for them, and you won't believe I didn't have a media list by then.
But just to make everyone who's listening, what is a media list?
So media list, so it's your target media list. Suppose you want to get a brand says, okay, we want to be seen in Time Out, your Khalij Time. So a media list is who writes food in that particular publication or magazine. So you have that database with you. So that's called a media list.
So
that's like an asset.
Khalij and
so that's like an asset for any PR firm, like a strong asset.
You need to have contacts with them.
Yeah, I need to have contacts. So
you didn't have anything.
Anything. So I took up this thing. It was more of like an experimental thing. So I charged them very less. Yeah, of course, because it was an experimental for me also. So I said, okay, I had never done blogger management. I had never done media, but I just took up heads on. I just took up, and I should be grateful to the God that they also agreed. And I had no idea. I came back home. I started working on it. I started seeing other F&B restaurants in the same space, and I started looking for who they are calling.
This is exactly during COVID time, right?
Yeah, during August 2020.
It should be more tough because food. Was it tough that time?
Because nobody was going out for reviews, and
food. So I don't know how people are managing. But how was that? Was it?
Yeah, but I think people were quite, when I approached bloggers, they were quite happy because they got an invite after 6 months.
Oh, okay.
So many people said, okay, we are going out for a review after 6 months. So we are so grateful. And they tagged me, and I was like, okay, that was easy. So yeah, it's not easy, but yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, so that's how I started. And then for PR, the newspapers I read, I actually manually went and read who's doing what. I found contacts on LinkedIn, Instagram. I literally built my own media list from the scratch. It's easier because there are services in the market where you can buy those lists.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's quite an hefty amount you need to pay on annual basis. Obviously. Yeah, because that's like a PR asset, right? So, but yeah, I started to build my own thing.
How was that journey? Because again, as you said, there's a list already there, you pay, and it's easy for you.
Yeah. No.
But for you, you made it by yourself. How was that? Or was it difficult? Or was it okay? It was not that tough.
No, it was not tough. It's just that you need that intent to work towards it.
Okay.
So if you are doing food, so you need to understand, okay, this person writes about food. Now is the social media era. You can find a person anywhere. So that's why even today, if somebody asks for a number, suppose I have your number today. So if somebody asks, can you give me Anil Nobo's number? I will not hesitate, because I would say if I won't give, if the person has a strong intent, some way or other, he will reach out
Still
to you.
find out,
Yeah, I will still find out. So, the number is not a thing. Like, I will give out that number because there were people who did not share the media list. But
Oh.
yeah, because they thought, but now after having this experience, I understand media list is nothing, just a piece of paper.
Okay.
It's your intent to understand what person is doing. It's your intent to understand what he requires and you to work consistently with that person. That would, need a hard work. Otherwise, we just send a press release to a random media, it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
So you need to have that intent.
This I think might have even helped to build relationships
Yeah,
with the
yeah, yeah.
people rather than if you would have just taken the thing and you're just
Yeah.
sending mails or whatever.
Exactly. So I personally wrote on LinkedIn messages that, okay, I'm handling this brand. So I always know, like, journalism had given me that perspective, okay, how to reach out to a journalist. So they are not just looking at, okay, there's a new restaurant, so, would you like to come? So I had this idea, they are selling the highest number of dosas here. They have this unique dosa. Would you like to come and cover? Because I know, like, that would intrigue them. That would, excite them. Okay, let me look into it. Otherwise, if I say there's a new restaurant in Karama, would you come? I'm like, okay, dekhte hain. Yeah, so that's how, I started pitching. And that's how I started to gain confidence also that, okay, I can do it. Because earlier I would go to meetings, like, I don't know if I would promise like very less because I had no confidence in myself or my work. But yeah, then the word of mouth followed and yeah, it continued. Yeah. And 2 years down the line, I think I have done more than 60 to 70.
60? Whoa. That's a good number.
Yeah, easily.
In your field, I mean, you might have met a lot of PRs in your field.
Yeah.
If you have to compare your work, I mean, as I said, our podcast is a book. This number, why I'm saying it is because you've done it by yourself. Like, you've not been in an agency and done it. You've run it by yourself. I'm quite sure you have people who are in this same PR industry. Where do you compare your work of these 60 events in this short? I think it's a very good achievement. But how do you rate that?
No, frankly, seriously, I don't compare my work.
Still, I know you don't compare. I know nobody likes to compare. But I just want to know, why I'm asking the question is because, as I said in the start, like, that was not recorded. When we talk about PR, there will be surely people who will look up to it. Whatever you will say right now, they'll put a target that I also want to reach. Like, for example, if I wanted to be an actor, I have a goal. I know that there are some great actors in India, in international. I know I want to become like this. My goal is that. And if someone wants to be a PR, right? They should know, okay, is this a good number? Is this I'm quite sure it's not easy to reach 60 events in a span of 2 years. It's something good. I want to know, according to you, what do you think? Do you think it was a good achievement? Do you think it's a good target to have for budding aspirants of PR? That's why I'm asking. No, personally, I'm satisfied. Year on year growth was good, starting from 2020 August to 2020 December. From 2020 January to 2021 December to now we are approaching. So year on year growth was, I would say, I'm satisfied that, okay, because if you push yourself too much and think a lot about on growth, so then you surround yourself with negativity. So you just need to, keep the consistency. So that's the key. If you are consistent, work will come. Okay. And of course there are some low-key days where you lose your clients and you feel, okay, I'm not good enough. You lose your clients also. Yeah, it's an open market, right? So they go to other PR and all maybe they think, okay, we should stop it. I think we are getting enough customers, or I think we should adopt some other strategy. So it's a part and parcel of your any agency. I would say any agency like. Yeah. So there are low keys, and then there are days one goes and you get 3 new clients. Those are high. There are highs also. But the whole game is you need to be consistent. So that's the only thing. So, consistency in PR is like because for a content creator, one is like you keep pushing content. Yeah. But for a PR, how do you say this is consistency in PR? So consistency in PR, making sure that you are tapping everything which is relevant to your brand. Sometimes you exceed your deliverables, which is very good. It's not like if you have promised your client, like, this month I will only work on Diwali campaign, but you see, like, somewhere your client can definitely go in. So you don't restrict yourself. I have only promised for Diwali campaign. Why should I do, this extra thing? I'm not being paid. No, but this should not be an approach. So if you think, okay, there's an opportunity and your client should be there and you can create something, you should always be hands-on. And it's always, it's seen.
Of course, it's not sometimes appreciated in words, but your work is always seen outside in the outside world.
Yeah.
So you always need to be consistent if you are following an approach. So you should always do that. Like I get up at 6 a.m. in the morning at making sure that who's doing what, who's writing what.
You do the scheduling in the morning.
Yeah, is some person not writing for a long enough time? What happened? What is the new style of content they are looking at? So you need to know. So if you are consistent and the journalist and your target audience is seeing your name, like again and again, so they also register your name. So many times it happens if a XYZ media house is doing a food story, they make sure that they give me a call or a message because they know that I have F&B clients. Reason being, I've always been very consistent in my communication. That okay, this month I'm doing this week I'm doing this month. So you have.
You have a schedule done and you're running through.
It's not like, okay, like today you start working at 11 o'clock and tomorrow you start working at 3 a.m. in the morning. No, you have to be consistent.
So that's for all careers.
Yeah, that's for all careers.
If you just leave it, then it will be left.
That's what my father told me. Now I understand he's learning like way better. He said, so he used to tell his staff, even if you come at 10 a.m., I have no problem, but come at 10 a.m. every day. Like, don't make an habit like one day you are coming at 9, another day you are coming at 11, and the other day you are coming back at 10. Don't mind, you want to start your day at 12, start at 12, but start at 12 every day. So, so you have to be very consistent in your approach.
Wow, I mean, I think you've learned a lot from your dad. Yeah. Is that true? Like a lot of, he was a businessman, your dad?
Yeah.
And how like, do you think his image in your life has helped you in your career with PR?
Yeah, because we have always seen him working hard. Not in PR because he was in a very different setup of a business. Yeah, but the kind of consistency and the hard work he used to put in, I think that's admirable.
Yeah. One more thing I would like to ask. I mean, coming to when you are in a career, you always look up to somebody. In PR, I do not know. I mean, there are not big names like, okay, I want to be. So I want to know in your journey when you, especially in the time when you wanted to do PR in Dubai, like, especially in the 2020 time, did you have someone you looked up to or someone who you aspired to be?
Yeah, because there was
sorry, I'm cutting you. Just to make it more clear, like for example, someone wants to be, like, as you're talking about social media, when you want to be a food blogger, there are some names. There's Safia, there is Conan, there's Rafi. There's a lot of, names, okay? Yeah. I want to, at least one day, at least they know me or something like that. There is aspiration. In your field, you are doing a different field, the PR field. So did you have anyone similar? So who would you look up to?
Yeah, so when I was working with Connector, so I think I was in touch with 90 to 100 PR firms in Dubai. So the competition is intense. But
there are a lot of PR people.
Yeah, there are a lot of PR companies. As a journalist, I made a list for my own understanding. Yeah, so but Tish Tash is something I really look forward because
Tish Tash is a company or a person name?
Tish Tash is a company name. Okay. So Natasha is the founder. So she also started from nothing, and she has, I think, I don't know, maybe 1,000 clients. I'm not sure.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a big number. And then, of course, I had a lot of respect for Anil Moti. She's the founder of Catch Communications, Catchcom. So she also started from, she was working with an agency and then she started to build her own brand and her agency because, again, it was how consistently these brands were approaching us. So, we could always see them doing good work because there are PRs who just send a press release and disappear. Then I don't hear from them for months. So, but these are the people, I always used to look up to them and see, oh wow, these people are doing some great work because this year they had 5 clients. Next year their whole list comes and they have 15 clients. So it means they are working, they are creating good content, they are working towards better future for themselves as well. So it's not easy to go out and create your name.
When you are talking about PR, I just realized that you are talking with so much passion. There's a lot of love. I'm quite sure that you are very passionate to it. I'm still figuring out what made you feel this passionate about PR. Like, it's a very different career. It's not like a career which everyone knows, but everyone has, okay, there's something called PR. What made you passionate? How did that thing come? Ki, yaar, I want to do this. Any instance in life something happened?
No, so the only thing is I only understand media.
That's the
only thing I completely understand. So if I'm in a conversation, and the other thing is I can't bluff or I can't talk. There are, I always say, There are people when I see like if they know 1%, no, they
Hmm.
will sound like they know 20% or
Hmm.
100%
Hmm.
rather.
Hmm.
But for me, if I know 1%, I will only talk 1%. I
Okay.
can't go beyond
Hmm.
that. I
Hmm.
can't, if until and unless I am not fully confident into subject, I can't bluff or just say, no, I know everything. This is not my personality at all.
Hmm.
So I only talk when it's a media conversation,
Hmm.
because it's been now I think 13 to 14 years I've been only
Oh,
in media.
wow.
Yeah, starting right from my post graduation till date, I have never done anything
Media.
media, something related to media. So
Wow.
this is something I understand. So once I lost the of course the writer's job,
Hmm.
this was, I think, the PR was the second option, and I think the way I try to learn things,
Hmm.
I think PR was more suitable for me.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I don't like the limelight a lot. So I'm happy in the backstage.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Coming to the media, as you're
Mm.
talking about, because that's something. Coming to social media, I want to know how your involvement with Galbuzz is, because I'm quite sure you have also a great hand
Yeah.
to help Dhruv Mania to
No,
grow.
no.
It seems like that. I do not know. I do not know. It can be something else as well.
No,
So I
no.
don't know how has that helped, or how has that journey been with you with Dhruv Mania and
Yeah, so
Galbuzz?
I think we started our careers, I think, all together.
Yeah,
So see,
2020.
how I got in touch with Gulfbus. So I was doing one event again for one of my clients, Cafe Funky Town. It was for a Diwali thing.
Hmm.
So I had not invited Dhruv. I had invited one of his friends, and his friend called me and she was like, I cannot come for this event, but I have this friend who can come. And I was like, okay, send me the friend's profile. So she sent me Dhruv's profile, and he had only 300 followers.
Okay.
But I saw some of his videos. I really liked the videos. Regardless, he had only 300 followers.
The
But
Gulbuzz page you're
yeah,
talking about
Gulf
is
Buzz page. There were only 300 followers, but the kind of videos he had put in, even though they were like few videos, but the kind of videos I saw on his page was amazing. Were amazing. So I said, okay, like he can come. So that's how I met him, and yeah, there was no looking back.
You have that means seen him grow from 300
Yeah.
to where he is now. Tell me the journey. How has that been? How is it working? And what were the ups and downs that you? So were you all working together, and then
No. We were
you
never
all are
working
always
together.
separate,
We were
right?
always been separate. So we always thought like we were very clear. Like you build your girl bus, I'm building my Excel comp. But wherever we need each other's support, we are there.
There, okay.
Yeah. So if I get a kick-ass idea for any campaign, so you will be the one who will get the exclusive insight into
Wow,
it.
that's
And
nice.
if there is a client who needs your support, so you will be the one who will save me from drowning.
Okay.
So that's how we start building. And of course we used to discuss a lot. Sometimes I'm out of ideas for campaigns, so he helps me out. Sometimes he's confused, okay, how to take say one particular thing forward. So yeah, it's
You all
like that.
helped. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
a
you all helped each other.
coordination. It's a natural
On
coordination.
social media, it looks different. I thought you all were working together and all build this thing and all
Yeah.
that. Because when I had this podcast with Dhruv also didn't mention. I was like, why he didn't mention for you? Now I get it. I really felt that you all were working together
No,
and you all
never.
built this together. But you all helped each other. I think that is the right word. Coming to why this podcast is with you, right? So I really feel that PR, sorry, how I really feel that social media in Dubai is not is great, but it's not where India is or where other countries are. And I still feel no matter, I mean, you might have also read about that article about TikTok, where Dubai's videos were the top viewed videos in the world, but it's still not that big, like as a social media space. There are great content creators, but still there. I really feel that there is a lot of madness or craze still there, and PR is the one which is helping to make the whole social media streamline. That's where y'all, even though y'all are back end, y'all are actually responsible for something bigger.
Yeah.
In a really big way, which until now nobody knows, especially in Dubai. Why I compare it, because I also come from India. I've seen how social media is there. I know what a PR can do to any content creator's life. I mean, that is the fact.
It's the first foundation step. Then the ones that are out and about, then
Yeah, I mean, the content creator, yeah, he makes the content, but the PR can change your life completely. It can be for an actor, but as we're talking about social media, I've seen a lot of social media content creators in India. I don't know about other countries, but in India, where the PR has really done a great job. So I want to know your insights. Like, how is social media and PR currently in Dubai? This is my insight. What I say.
No,
What is your
for content creators or for brands?
no as a PR, your outlook of social media? How do you look at it?
It's very important these days. Very important. I would say India has a better edge because still we have so much of restrictions here in the UAE market. So suppose in India how it is, you want to start your pay, you just start. You don't think about licensing, your registering company. You just start,
Right.
right? And if it gets to start like bigger, you reach a number, then you think about registering your and putting a number into it.
Yeah.
Here the point is first people come because they have a job here.
Right.
Then it gets very difficult to they come out of
Manage a
that
job and-
madness and then start something of your own. But with these current visa, not the visa, the residencies rule that has come into like the freelance visa, it has given like confidence to many people to come into this social media space.
Breather in short.
Yeah,
like
it's a breather. Like you just pay like 1500 dirham and you get your freelance visa and nobody is able to question you. So
what you're doing
yeah,
in the country. Okay.
Okay, no, we will complain you are working without visa. So these freelance visa, I think, was a blessing for many content creators because they are doing something legal and they don't have that fear. Okay, because they can of course raise an invoice to the client. They can do something. That's why I never compare Dubai with India market because these are like two different markets.
Yeah.
The kind of complications you have like are very very less in India. Yeah, you can just start doing business like how we find so many home businesses there. They just start selling a char, nobody questions them, why are you selling a char? There's no F&B
just get up and start making. You can make a
and
business.
once you reach a number, then you say okay abhi sales tax ka number le lete. Yeah, otherwise, but in Dubai people come with a job in hand, so they have like a basic expense to be paid. So there's a whole ball game which is very different here. But I think with new visa rules, social media content creators are getting a boost here. And I think social media has become so important because you just can't rely on any other media. Social media is very very important because even media houses like all the big names, they also want a very strong presence in social media because that's where the people are. Yeah, even if you are reading news, so many times I'm just scrolling the Instagram and I get my updates on Gulf News on Instagram page. I scroll their stories on Instagram, I scroll their stories on LinkedIn, I see many updates on Twitter. So social media is the key now in nowadays. So whenever you are doing PR, you need to see your social media strategy like in a very key eye, I would say. That okay, if you are suppose you are building a campaign for a brand like a F&B brand, so you can't just write a press release and send ke log kar denge. No, it won't happen that way. You need to create like an appealing content for the social media page, and then making sure that how many content creators are in this space who would be interested in this piece. Okay, and then because now medias also repost content creators content. So we also sometimes when media doesn't pick, so it's a very tricky, it's a very thin line. So suppose you does something and that video goes viral, and then Khaleej Times suddenly becomes interested. It's a win-win for everyone. Khaleej Times got their content, you got your publicity, and the brand got the news out. So how it begins with a small strategy, you have to really sit down and see how we will go about it
and how it can grow,
how you can grow, how to pick a right person to do it. So if tomorrow I know if this is something like a part of Dubai culture, and I have to do something funny around it, I'll make sure that like somehow if I could loop you in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Anil is the best when it comes to Dubai life.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Dubai way of living. So now I know your life is Dubai way of living, right? And Dubai way of living and how we can make it more humorous and then send the message out. And if the video goes viral, it will of course create an impact. So social media plays a major role because people are there and they only share content if it is interesting enough. If you go and say, okay, we sell laptops, it has these many key like buttons on, like nobody would share that. Obviously. Like we have this restaurant, we have 100 dish, like we have, this is our menu, this is our interiors, nobody will see that.
Obviously.
Nobody would share that. So on social media, you need to have content which is shareable. Suppose you do a video, you come up with a gimmick idea, okay, the video is there on the social media. Now a person when goes to the brand social media page, then they can of course shout out, okay, we have this dish, this dish. But of course, to make people go onto the brand's page to explore what other things they have, you need to come up with a strong and a goofy idea which is shareable. Because your social media completely works on the game of how much shareable your content is.
Right.
Because otherwise, you see, you forget.
That's it. Coming to one very important part, you are in touch with brands, and I want to know, when you approach brands, are currently brands open to give a good amount of budget to social media than print media or other types of media? What is your take on that? Are brands aware now? Okay, this is where, and are they reluctant, or are they like pushing in money?
No, they are pushing in money for social media. Of course, they understand the power of social media a lot, but then of course there's a set of people who still want they want print. Yeah, there will always be a set of people, because print comes with that prestige. Okay, that we are there, and yeah, we got like full-time paid. That's a prestige we grew up with. Even our generation, if tomorrow you get a full-page interview in a paper, you will also get that thrill that, okay, like, see, I grew up reading other people's interviews. Now I am there, so it will always give you thrill. But yeah, now brands are understanding the power of influencer marketing, that I would say, and social media marketing, I would say. But yeah, so the whole so they're understanding. The confusion is they sometimes mix social media marketing with influencer marketing. So these are two things. Social media marketing, I say, like how you design your page, and influencer marketing is how you interact with a particular influencer so that that influencer bring the audience to your page.
Oh, okay.
So these are like two different things where people sometimes get confused. They think social media marketing is influencer marketing, and if you are saying, okay, we have this offer, you also ask influencer to this offer. No, influencer marketing, you need to be very thoughtful.
I feel you have a good bad story in this. No. Has anything like that happened where you've done something and the client is like, I didn't want this on that, and you?
No, not at all. Because I'm very open in my conversation when I go and sit. No, that's why before I sign up any client, I sit with them with PR 101 lesson. Because for some it is like ये तो आ जाता है. It doesn't happen that way. You need to be very creative. You need to come out of your comfort zone to do something. You need to push your chefs also to come out with creative ideas. To deal with your media's content, what's trending on social media. So if social media is saying, okay, this now Pinktober is going on, right? Breast cancer awareness. So now we are doing a campaign, where they are putting a list of places where you can go and get free mammogram. So they are getting it printed and putting on each and every table.
Okay.
Yeah, and they are creating a special pink dish for it, and along with that, they are creating the whole graphic where you can find out where you can go this month, where government is offering free mammograms. So it's the kind of awareness you go. Otherwise, they are selling their dishes, it's okay. But if you are doing PR, if you want right kind of influencer or media to engage with you, you need to come up with campaigns.
Whoa, all this also has to be done.
Yeah, all this has to be done. Otherwise, if you are just doing, okay, we have this.
So this particular Pink October that we spoke about, the pink dish and all, this idea, it has come from the restaurants, or it is something that the PR had come out with? And
so it depends. It's always a two-way communication.
Okay, sometimes it's them, sometimes
it's sometimes they think, okay, we want to do something for this, because if a topic is something very close to their heart, so they want to do it. But sometimes PR also say, but of course, as a person, I don't make charity a loud thing. Like
okay.
If you are doing charity with your right hand, left hand, you don't know about it. So I am a firm believer of that. But when I'm working with a brand, I always tell them, do you want it to make it like a PR campaign? Then it's up to them. If they want to take it forward, because we see during Eid, many people, they say, okay, we had donated this much of money. So I had like set of clients who would say, okay, we want this to get published and we have no issue. Then I have another set of people who say, like, we don't want this out in the media at all. So these are like different thought processes. So when it comes to campaigns, it depends. We also suggest, and sometimes clients also suggest. So then when clients suggest, I just filter it out, what would work and what will not work.
So in PR, I think it's like if any PR person is there, the PR also has a liberty to give creative ideas to the client as well.
That's our prime job.
I didn't know that. I mean, I don't know if many people knew it. I personally didn't know. That's a prime Reason being, I thought whatever you have in place, it's your job to make it big. I never knew or thought that you can have a say to help them improve their thing. Like supposing there's nothing in that, I thought you have to do something with that nothing as well?
Sometimes we do that. It's just that we pack that thing
It's
in
like
a
a
way.
package.
Yeah,
In
it's in a
short, you'll
package.
charge. Obviously, you'll charge for
Yeah, for
whatever you are.
example, we do, if there's restaurant, they call it combo. We don't call it combo, call it a business lunch.
That would be if you go to the next other package and you tell me,
Yeah,
okay,
like, because sometimes, because that's very Indian way of saying that lunch combo,
combo.
but here the lingo is business lunch.
Oh,
So we say, okay, don't call it like a lunch combo, call it business
business lunch.
lunch.
Wow, that's
So these are
great.
like small little insights, because we deal with media, we see what they are doing, what they are
Mhm.
writing, what's their line of how would I say, like the key words that they use. So
Mhm.
it's not curry nights. So it's not like, okay,
Okay.
the combo deal, like the
Mm.
thali only, right? You get
Mm.
this much in.
Uh-huh.
So there's a curry night deal.
Okay, so
So
you have to put a nice name to
yeah,
make it
nice
more
name.
furnished.
Yeah, and always I try, if my clients are comfortable, I try to push them for a gimmick. I won't believe, I like the Indian street food is so buzzing.
Yeah.
I so many times I get ideas from India reels.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually, I think social media in India is a little different
It's,
completely.
it's crazy.
Everyone is a content creator there. That's how crazy it
So
is.
much of talent, so
It's so much,
much
yeah,
of
so much,
talent.
and people are a little crazy. Coming to PR, let's end the podcast. I think it's been a lot of insightful. This part is for budding PRs who want to become PR. I want you to share some tips that you followed or some tips that should be followed for people who want to enter this industry that you are in, especially who aspire to be like you, because you've done, like, I'm quite sure you've done a lot. I mean, I'm quite sure in PR industry you have a good name because you won awards as well,
Thank
right?
you.
So I'm quite sure people would look up to you. So getting tips from you, I'm quite sure would be big for people who are following.
I'm
So
not sure, but
what were your strategies that like, as why I'm saying strategy, because I know you now write, like, you strategize, literally strategize. So I know that there are some A B C combinations that you use to push yourself to make work happen. So what are those strategies that you can share and tell people, okay, this is something that you should also try if you're going to be head and shoulders in for in PRs.
So yeah, so I think when it comes to client, always promise less and deliver more.
Okay.
Yeah. And on media side, always keep an eye on your current trends. Like what's, because today if one influencer is doing good, of course their person has gone big. Always see, what a new talent is coming in the market. Always keep your
Eye
eyes
on them.
and eyes and ears open to see what's new in the market.
Mm.
Because the only thing that is constant is change.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
True.
you just can't stay stuck to one person. You always need to evolve and understand what is the current trend. Always stay, like, that should be on top of your tips.
So okay.
Who's entering the market? Don't go by numbers. Numbers are nothing. You just see how talented a person could be, how could they benefit your brand. Just keep yourself informed. Like, don't rely on these lists and everything. Apply your thing on it and see like who's doing what.
Okay, one final tip I want to
Yeah.
know about budgeting. When you go to companies to discuss about the budgets, about the money that pays out, what is one tip that, because nobody talks about this, you just need to figure out.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
a tip, I know that you would want to make others also, you also figure out why should you get it so easily. But a small tip, because the better we learn, the more I think it will keep improving. So what is that one tip that you follow or you try?
See, the budgeting is, I always try to get the client for a retainer, like a longer run. And always say, if keep yourself in their shoes. If you are running a business, if you are investing into someone, so you want that person to give at least into 3-4 times of what you are investing into it.
Right.
So that's the, if you can give them that kind of return in their business, so that's how you do your budgeting. Like, if I'm charging this person this one, can I get them this kind of shout out? Because it's very difficult to measure PR result, but still you need to figure it out, that can you give back to that person in a multiple and in a bigger way. So that's how you need to start. You need to put your costs, your employee costs, your time costs, your per hourly cost, then your experience that you come up with, and then see if everything you are X amount you are charging the client, are you able to give back in value into 5 at least?
Yeah.
Because until and unless you are not getting a return from any investment you are doing into a business, nobody is going to put that money into you.
Right.
For example, if I hire something tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
or do something, I need to see if I'm putting 5 rupees or 5 dirhams into one thing. Would it help me to make 25 dirham in future? That's a basic
Business,
logic.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's how you need to see, after putting all your cost, all your hard work, all your experience, all your expertise, you come up with a figure, and now you need to see how can you give back in value.
Listening to what all work goes in the PR, it feels like it's not a one-person job. So your company is called Excel
Comms, yeah.
Are you the only one, or do you have a team?
Like I was the only one, but now I have a writer and somebody to look after influencers.
So they are in Dubai, or they are in UAE?
No, the one for influencer marketing, my influencer marketing executive Aisha Siddiqui. So she is here based out of UAE. So she's a Dubai born and raised kid, as you say. And my writer, she's based out of Mumbai.
So are you planning to expand, or what's your plans? I want to know your plans with Excelcom. What's going to happen?
Course,
What are your? I'm not saying this is what will happen. I don't want to say, okay, I'm going this and that. No, I want to know what's your vision now for Excelcom.
So I really want to, have
because why I'm saying now, because we will again have a podcast too, and then I don't know when, but I'm quite sure we'll talk about this again that time. So what is your vision, and so that let's see if it happens.
My vision is, whenever I every December I sit down, it should be better than last year.
Any vision currently?
Yeah, of course, it should be better than the last year. So the growth should be at least 20 to 30% up from the last year.
Give me something better. Don't give me like overall 20%. How will I know? Like for example, let's say some brands that you want to link up with. That something we all can understand.
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely some international food chains. I would love to work with them.
You might have somebody, come on. Somebody that you want to. I hope we get this PR from somehow. Or anything like that. Any goals?
Yeah, I won't say that. I think I believe in a little jinx.
Okay, no problem.
I really want to work with bigger names. So the whole point is, bigger names or not, as a company, I of course you judge your company's growth by numbers, right?
Right.
So it should grow every year. If you are stagnant, it means something is like stuck, or you're going somewhere wrong.
Let's put a full stop at one last question. What is your current number and what do you want to achieve? Chalo, let's say that.
Okay, suppose that I currently have 13 to 14 clients. So maybe next year I really want to touch 25. 25.
Okay. This is where we will now, for the next podcast, we'll start with this. What is your number right now? Yeah. If it's not good also, okay. Like
no,
it's
no,
not
that's
like
how I started with I want to have 5 clients, and I said I want to have 50,
but I think it should motivate you कि now I have told 25, I need to exceed now because
then you put the strategy out, no? कि 25 clients you can't work on alone.
Yeah, now you told like a lot of people. Yeah. Everybody's going to now see. So I think it's going to be good. I think personally I feel it will be more than 25.
Thank you.
But we will see. Picture baki hai, as you say. So thank you, Sherry. With this we'll end our podcast. Thank you. It was so good. Thank you so much. High five.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, done. If you pay attention to this podcast really carefully, especially if you are looking out for a career in PR Dubai or make an entire space for yourself in this industry, Sherry Gupta shared a lot of deep insights, something that if you go ahead and make notes, you'll learn a lot from this podcast. So if you are again looking out for a career in this space, listen to this podcast again, follow what she has said, and I'm quite sure you will do really, really amazing in this field. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like button. Follow us on Spotify because we upload all our podcasts 48 hours before YouTube, and be the first listeners of our podcast. Till then, signing off from Dubai. Stay blessed.